Greetings and hallucinations. We are live.
Hello.
Wait, we're not live. I'm Mike.
I'm Phil.
So we're Mike and Phil. So we're not live. We're actually.
We have
never
names.
mind.
We have names.
Give it up. First Friday live. Haven't done one for a couple of months. So
Yeah.
It's great to be back.
It's fun to be here.
Yeah.
It's fun to be here.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
And you just got back from imaging. I just got back from imaging.
Yeah, that was fun. It was great. Louisville, Bourbontown.
Yeah.
Some great food there. I mean, it was really cool.
I think the best part for me was seeing all my friends I haven't seen from across the country for a while.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how you miss them.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see them again, it's like, oh, wow, I remember you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had lunch scheduled half the time just with people are going, oh, I haven't seen you, let's go to lunch. And
Exactly.
so
And
people all over the nation.
I think that's what's cool about our convention, too, is you see people from across the state you haven't seen.
That's right.
And not only that, but the education and everything else going on. But
Well, and even when you get into a big convention like that, guess what we did? All the PPI people kind of went and congregated a lot. And so that's one of the beauty of these organizations and these relationships you build within the larger and the smaller organizations. It's really cool.
I got to run into my California friends I haven't seen for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then my Idaho friends, I got to see them the whole weekend every once in a while. Because there's some that I don't see on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what more can you ask for?
I know. And yeah, and then all the people, there's the people who, you find out how just approachable all the rock stars in our industry really is and how just down to earth they are. And it's
I got to see my rock star favorite of all people.
really
Three programs.
Three programs.
Three programs. One was it was the AI version.
Uh-huh.
But then I got to see her.
I know
you know exactly
who you're talking about. Yeah.
Julianne Cost.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's just amazing.
Oh yeah.
And I think I talked her into an autographed book for our auction coming up at convention.
Nice. Nice. My memories of her is at Texas school, and if they have like 15 minutes to fill, she just does this 15-minute monologue, and you're in stitches. She is incredibly funny.
She is for a serious subject, and she just makes it
look easy.
And the funny thing is I shouldn't say this, I think she makes mistakes on purpose so that you can learn from her mistakes when she knows exactly what she's doing.
Of course. Oh yeah.
I mean, Julianne is Julianne.
I mean,
So.
what's more to be said?
Exactly. Well, I think Bob has a whole bunch for us to say. He's got some slides for us.
Yeah,
and all
he's
kinds
given
of
us
stuff.
the okay. Enough of
No,
that.
not that finger. Sorry, folks. It's going to be a long day today.
It is.
So we're going to have fun. Hopefully, you send a message saying that you're here and you're enjoying it or not enjoying us. We'll kind of cut it back a little bit.
Okay.
But I believe we're going to be talking about the test prep class, which is the CPP class. If I get it right.
Yep. CPP test prep
And
class.
that's your bailiwick. You and Bob are handling that one.
Yeah. We've talked about this for a long time, and it's really great because I think the CPP is really where I started. That was one of the first things I pursued, and I remember sitting there looking at this, going, "Oh, I could do this. I could do this in 1 year." So I started the study course, and that was under the old test, and where the information was a little harder to find back in those days. And but yeah, I just gave myself a year and just set myself to it, and in 1 year, sure enough, I earned my certification. And the beauty of it is it really is about the fundamentals of photography.
It is.
It really is. And in teaching it, you really you get this. It's fun to go back and review a little bit because it's easy. You kind of have it back here, but it's good to actually see it in writing again and put it to words.
Well, it's also good for you teaching it or to help people pass the class because it reminds you of stuff that you're supposed to remember to do all the time.
Precisely.
That sometimes you might forget once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
yeah.
we're looking at February, what is this?
It's the 15th and 16th.
15 and 16
Yeah, here at the
this year. That's like
8th Street Studio.
2 weeks away?
It
3
is.
weeks away?
It is. Yeah, we've got a class. It's a merit class. It's a PPA merit class. So if you're a PPA member, you get a merit for attending. It is a 2-day class. So sad to say, Bob has got the easier part of it. Because my part is almost going to be a day and a half. Last time I taught it, it was almost 11 to 12 hours of nonstop content. Because the written portion, that's the part I teach, is the written portion. There's a lot of information in there.
There is a lot. And when I took the test back in the old days,
Yeah.
we were crossing over from film to digital, so you had both
Right.
on there.
Right.
Wow. That was,
Right.
that was
When
a lot
did
to
you?
learn.
Do you mind me asking? When did you take it?
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
I took it a long time ago too.
I studied from the book, the London, I think it was the London
Yep,
book.
the London book.
They also had a website from that book that had test questions on it.
Oh yeah.
So I went through and took every test over and over and over and over so I could kind of mentally prepare for taking the test. I passed the test and I tried to find out what areas I was weak in. No, you passed. You don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of frustrating because I want to know.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those things. Well, anyone from PPA who does that, that's
If you're
that's a
watching, yeah.
helpful. If you're watching, that's a helpful thing
And
to
even
know.
even if you pass, it's something you want to know how to improve.
Right. Exactly.
Some people is, I passed, whew, I don't want to think anything about it ever
Right.
again.
Right. Well, and yeah, with even with like the FAA exam, I'm a licensed pilot, and at least they tell you what you missed.
Yeah.
And then, of course, your practical exam, they're going to drill you on that. They know your scores. So, but this is good. It's helpful to know that. So, yeah, anyone who puts those together, that's a great thing to help our members improve. So, yeah.
And then right after the CPP, we have another program coming up
Right.
taught by you and some guy named Chris Woolley.
Chris Woolley from Washington. Yeah.
That's going to be
Yeah.
a fun class.
It's going to be a fun class. We did teach it this last summer in Spokane. We had some students as far away as Massachusetts coming to this. And we really and truly love the light. This is something that I think is going to get forgotten if we don't talk about it, because there's something very special and very unique about the way they lit vintage photographs and the way they did things. It's so different from what we do today.
Yeah.
And the whole mindset, the concept of lighting and the whole emotional element of that whole thing it's all different. And if we don't talk about it, if we don't teach it, we're going to lose it.
Right.
And so Chris and I are very passionate about this, and we are just really excited to put this program on. It's going to be a pretty action-packed weekend.
And the title of the class is Glamour Reimagined?
Glamour Reimagined. I named it today. Chris, if you're watching, that's the title of our program.
I guess he needs to know that, doesn't he?
Probably. We just kind of call it the old Hollywood glamour and pinup, and I'm sitting here building this slide going, this really needs a cool title. What can I call it?
So the dates on that are February 17th and 18th.
Right on. I mean, literally, we finished the CPP press class. I'm going to hop in the car and probably go get Chris from the airport, and then we're going to be setting up at the studio for that.
And the cool thing is there's still room in the class.
Yes, there's still room.
You can go to the PPI website, ppofidaho.com, and sign up there.
Sign up. Click through. There is a link in the registration. Just kind of click through to Chris Woolley's page. Go ahead and sign up there. Signing up for our class still helps out the organization. And so anyway, yeah, by all means, please.
Yeah, definitely. I think the next slide up is image competition. I want to hold that one off till after we talk about convention, because we got a lot to talk about with image competition.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Pages and pages of material to cover.
Get your coffees, guys.
Get your coffee, get it warmed up, and get ready for this. But another class coming up is with Bob Quick on February 28th, which I believe is a Wednesday. And the program's called As I See It. And I've talked to Bob about this program in depth for hours. We've discussed back and forth. And he's going to talk about how he sees the image before he even shoots it.
That's helpful.
That, to me, helps a whole lot.
Right.
And he talks about metering, how he meters. Yes, he uses a light meter, which some people, what's a light meter? I don't need that. I shoot digital.
Right.
But we're going to talk about how he meters. He'll probably talk a little bit about the zone system. I don't think he's going to get too in depth into that because that'll just knock me out and I'll fall over backwards in my chair.
It's a real techie topic.
Yeah, I'm not a techie. And then he'll talk about how he processes his images in Photoshop. And he said, Mike, don't laugh. I know you're an expert in Photoshop, which I'm not. I know it well.
Right.
But he said, you're going to laugh at what my technique is, how I do it. I'm not going to laugh. I'm going to probably take a lot of notes. I might be able to shortcut some stuff for you down the road, but I will be taking notes right and left because his work is just unbelievable.
I'm looking at the graphic going, wow, that's unbelievable. That's really cool scenery, and yeah, I'm excited. I think I need to sign up for that one.
The cool thing is we're going to do dinner before at 5:30.
Okay.
Then it's $15 for the class. We're going to go from 5 to 6:30 at dinner, then from 6:30 to 8:30 or 9, depending on if he starts falling asleep during his program.
Okay, that'd be bad.
Yeah.
There's a time error on the slide, so you just said it how it's going to be. Dinner at 5, class at 6:30.
Correct.
Okay, it's different on the slide, but that's
Okay.
All right.
So ignore the slide, listen to us. We know what we're talking about.
That's right. Heck with the slide.
And I'm excited. I begged him to do this class for us.
Okay.
And he's worried he's not going to be able to come through. Bob, come on.
so
You've done enough teaching.
This is just one night, right?
Just one night.
Just one night.
2.5 hours of class. And a get together before class just to hang out. The $15 fee does not include dinner. You're on your own for dinner. We ain't paying for your dinner.
It should be said that this is part of our new quarterlies that we're offering this year.
We're doing quarterly training now, which is exciting.
Well, and $15 is a screaming deal for anything of any substance in this industry. It's a screaming deal.
And we're just trying to get our members in there. I think it's $20 or $25 for the non-members.
Right.
But we want our members to get good training, and this is a good start.
Yeah.
We're looking at May for another program on business and marketing.
Cool.
And then hopefully in August, I'll be going out to Twin Falls doing an all-day program for Photoshop. So we can put something on the eastern side of the state. And
that's cool.
yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited for that.
Nice.
And then the big one.
The big one. Yes.
The Professional Photographers Idaho gladly presents in 2024
PPI convention. Yeah.
March 22 to 24.
I have to say, I'm bummed. I have been to every PPI convention since I was started as a PPI member. Except last year. I was teaching and judging in Wyoming, and doggone it, 24 inches of snow hit the ground. And here I am, stuck in a hotel in Casper, Wyoming, with really some great people. I mean, it was fun.
I heard you guys had a good time.
We had a wonderful time, but yeah, I just missed out on our convention.
And I was speaking in Tennessee that weekend. I flew back so I could make it Sunday for Tim Meyer's class.
Yeah.
To help him set up, and
I'm not missing this one. Where
I begged Shannon Squires for 3 years to come to Idaho. The year she agrees to come,
you're teaching in Tennessee.
I'm in Tennessee.
Well, and for me, Tim Myers, it was like,
yeah, exactly.
Really, we want to talk old Hollywood glamour. He's really got some great technique.
Oh, he does.
And so I was sad to miss that.
I did his Hollywood black and white class twice at West Coast School. I was his yellow jacket. So I had a blast. Okay, let's talk about our convention. What's coming up? We've got a pre-con on March 21st. Thursday the 21st, pre-con with Carl Kaler. For those who don't know Carl Kaler, Carl is a Jack Russell Terrier on steroids. He is so full of energy. His program, the best class, sorry Tim Meyer, the best class I ever had at West Coast School was Carl Kaler. This is one where Carl was spot on, like he always is.
Right.
Every person in the class, there wasn't that one person, unless that was me. If you have to ask who that one person is, because there's always one in the class.
Sure.
If you have to ask who it is, it's you. But that class was probably the best class I ever had. Everybody gelled. The chemistry was great. The models were great. It was just, Carl's one of those speakers you can't not go see. If you pass it up, you're losing out. This is going to be a hands-on class. We're going to do hands-on with models. We're going to photograph models. I shouldn't say hands-on with the models, but we're going to photograph the models.
Photograph, hands on your camera.
Hands on your camera, and we're going to do some hands-on computer work afterwards as well. So I've been talking to Carl extensively about this, and he is excited.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a class. It's $99 pre-con, and then you add that on your $250 for the entire convention, which Carl will be doing a class as well during the convention. Okay. But the pre-con is the one you definitely got to go see, and then add on the convention to go with it, and you're going to learn a whole bunch this week.
That sounds pretty exciting.
It is
That's
exciting.
Awesome. I just love his work. I was there when he received his ASP award, and it was on scenery, and they played his slideshow, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy's good.
Carl's amazing.
Yeah.
He's also a good judge. In fact, he's going to be our jury chair for image competition this year.
Yep, he is, and I'm excited. He's highly qualified to do that, and we're going to have a really great lineup of judges and a great JC. They all think very highly of him. So
I think highly of him. So until he judges my print, then I'm going to have a little chat with him.
Could be a problem.
And I keep saying print. I apologize to all those out there that use the common term image, but I was raised on print competition.
Yeah.
You had prints. What you see is what you get. And so I'm sorry.
I miss those days. I really do.
That makes two of us.
Yeah.
But working in the back room of the print, where you had to put all the prints up and all that stuff, opening the cases. Oh my God.
Oh,
people
amazing.
Would spray lacquer on them, and it's like the odor would just knock you out.
Oh yeah, and they were just untouched and glistening, and you had white gloves and handling them, and it was just.
Although we did have one that had just sprayed it before we put it in the case.
We had that too once. It was heartbreaking.
Kind of try to peel them apart. Try to do your best you can without hurting them.
That's right.
So, we can talk about print comp. We'll go back to convention again
sure,
after print
absolutely.
comp. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. So
yeah. So print competition is going to happen March 9th. It's going to be an online competition. That meaning that it's we're PPI members. Those in the eastern part of the state, central part of the state, western part, start right now putting together your watch parties, because that's where it's really a lot of fun, where somebody can host a watch party, get some food, get together, have games, see if you can score like the judges, see who comes closest to the score, have little prizes. I mean, these little Club 79, we called them Club 79s back in the day. So much fun, and such great conversation that happens, and you can, of course you're there, the judges are somewhere else, you can cheer, you can boo, you can do whatever you want.
Throw popcorn at the screen.
Throw popcorn at the screen if you want. That's the beauty of it. Is it's all about getting together, being together, and experiencing that together. And so, that I encourage you guys. If you don't have a watch party, maybe organize one and bring your friends in and watch. So
it's on. I want to say June, but it's on March 9th.
March 9th. Yes.
So the deadline to get my images in.
March 5th.
And
Midnight,
that's
March 5th.
through printcompetition.com.
Correct. Yeah, so there's a small fee to be a member of printcompetition.com. And then, of course, you pay your case fee. You upload your images into printcompetition.com along with the titles. And we take it from there. And then, of course, when you want to watch, log into printcompetition.com and you watch.
We'll be live Zooming it as well, right? Will it be Zoomed this year?
I don't know. I think it's just going to be print
Just
competition.
okay.
I believe it's printcompetition.com.
Okay.
Yeah, because right now they've got it set up to where, you can just have the whole experience right there. And so as it's happening live. And so it's a great platform. They've done so many great things to make it user-friendly and easy for when you enter images, you can now see what's going on and hear what's going on. And
that's probably the biggest thing, is hearing the judges when there's a challenge.
Right.
Hear the judges talk about the images and how they see them, what they see, what they don't see.
Mm-hmm.
I know when my images come up, I go, oh God, I hope they don't see that big scratch across the,
Mm-hmm.
Well, if this guy would have taken this,
Yeah.
they saw it.
They saw it. Yeah.
They saw it.
I'm not sure what that is, but I'm distracted by it.
Exactly.
One of the 12 elements, the one that's seemingly talked about the most, is technical excellence.
Mm-hmm.
And so cloning tracks, scratches, all of that stuff.
I know when I judge on impact.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it moves me. Then you look at the technical excellence. Okay, dust spots all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
There's banding all across the sky. You got the white line going across the mountains where they did some Photoshop work and didn't quite clean it up right.
Right.
So
Right.
little things.
Yeah, and that is one of those things. We're supposed to consider the whole. Both of us. For those of you who don't, we both judge.
I am not a national judge.
Neither am I. I'm a JIT, so I'm working my way there.
I've done training in the state, California. We put on judging classes there.
Okay,
I've done
and
that a few times.
I've been through the PPA
You've been through the PPA
class.
You used an acronym, JIT. Can you explain that for us?
Juror in training is what JIT means. Sorry, acronyms come really easy to me. JIT means juror in training. So the process of becoming a juror for PPA, there's a course you take. So it's a 3-day course, and then you go through a number of different hoops where they go and they test you on whether you can see and call a merit versus a non-merit within a certain scope with the judges. They're judging on critiquing, then they actually put you on panels and start kind of evaluating you. So it's a pretty exhaustive process. I'm right smack in the middle of it. And so I'm doing a lot of state level judging. And so, but yeah, they drill you on the 12 elements. And so when you're preparing your print images, think of it in terms of the 12 elements of a merit image. And impact is always usually the number one thing.
Well, everything comes back to impact, because if there's no impact,
right,
why should I look at it?
Why look closer?
Yeah.
Right. And so if there is impact, then you start kind of looking and say, well, what's contributing to that? How's the storytelling? What is the technical, am I seeing anything in here that is distracting me from that? And so the jurors kind of then start working their way through and deciding based on what they see, whether this is a merit image or not a merit. If it's a merit image, then how much of a merit image is it?
Is it a super merit, or just
did it just cross the line? Or is it not a merit, or is it really kind of further down on the scale? So
yeah,
that's And that's one of the big challenges, is coming up with a number that is appropriate. And so
It's not easy. For those that haven't judged before, put yourself in that seat one time. And
Yeah.
you'll realize they're trying hard.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
may not be right, especially on my images, but they do try.
And what's interesting, I think one of the things about a juror is, and a great juror is the one that listens to the other jurors. So what you're you're trained to be a team player. If everyone's thinking this is a really, scores of 95 and you're down there at 78, it's join the rest of them and
I've challenged images where they scored high and I scored low, or just the opposite. I scored high, they scored low. I go, I need to challenge this because I'm way off. I
Right.
need to figure out what they're seeing that I'm not seeing, or vice versa.
And it can go either way.
Yeah,
I mean, I've
exactly.
heard one person kind of go, I see some problems here, and man, that pendulum comes swinging the other direction, and vice versa. It can go up. So it's really, I think it's always, for me, it's very rewarding when judges stop and they talk about something, because then all of a sudden there's an opportunity to learn something.
There is. And
Yeah.
it causes you, as either the maker or in the crowd, to take a closer look at this and go, what do they see?
Right.
And it's amazing.
And
Some judges have hawk eyes. It's just like poof. And for me, it's like, nice image. What do you mean? Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I see that. And once you see it, you
You
can't.
can't unsee it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I've learned that there is what are called technical judges, and then there are judges that are judge on emotion. And of course, when I'm picking jurors for the panel, that's what I'm looking for, is I'm looking for that balance.
Right.
And that's how they do it when they do it at PPA, is, every image has merits based on how it impacts you, storytelling, all those, warm, fuzzy kind of things. And then there's we have some technical issues, there's technical problems, and to get there and get them talking together to where they can kind of agree. If you have all one or all the other, then you have kind of a skewed panel. So
Right.
that's one of the things we really work towards, is to create that balance in a jury panel.
So to enter PPI, I keep going from PPA to PPC to PPI.
Yeah.
It's $15 an image for PPI members, professional photographers.
Idaho.
Wow.
You're in Idaho.
I'm in Idaho, and I love being in Idaho.
Idaho, man.
I'm going to get kicked out of here pretty soon. And I don't want to get kicked out of here. I like it here. It's $15 an image for the first 5 images, or $85 for all 6.
All 6, yes.
So if you enter 5, you might as well order that 6th one and get the discount on it.
Right, exactly. Hey, I can't tell you how many times I've merited a case filler. Oh, just one more. So, we'll just toss it in so we'll have a complete one. Guess which one merits?
Yeah.
The case filler.
Or I had a case filler go lone one time.
Yeah.
And my number 1 image said, I don't think so.
I've had that. Yeah. I earned my master's degree on a case filler. 3 images. I mean, these 3 could not lose. No way. I needed 3 more merits. I've got this. I can slide into home. Everything's gonna be great. And my wife goes, you paid for 4 images. You sit down there at that computer and
knock that last
knock
one out.
that last one out. So I did. An hour. I just, this will stick to the wall maybe. And I go and I dress it up and I put it in the case. Guess what? My all-time favorite image did not merit. The case filler merited, and therefore I was able to get my master's degree.
I remember my master's, I needed 5 merits. This is back when you got 2 merits for lone images. They were lone images back then.
Image excellence.
Now they're image excellence.
Yeah.
My first one, image excellence. My second one, image excellence. My third one, image excellence. The fourth one didn't merit.
Yeah.
But 5, I needed 5, I got 6. So I got to walk down in Louisiana. That was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That makes your ego like,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got 6.
yeah, I got my merits.
Yeah.
So for people that are non-PPI, I said it right this time, non-PPI members,
Right.
it's $20 an image
I believe so.
for up to 4 images, and it's for score only.
There is one award.
Yes.
There is one award for a non-PPI member, and
You almost said A.
Yeah, I know. It's
I'm contagious.
too many
We all
people.
just got back from imaging.
I know. It's all PPA
So
and
the
imaging.
print chair challenge,
So it is an we call it an out-of-state award, but it's a
non-member.
non-member,
So
whether
you
you're
can- you
in
can
or
be-
out of state.
Yeah, you can be somebody in Idaho that enters. If you're not a member of PPI,
Right.
then it's an out-of-state.
Trophy that you would compete for. Yeah.
Right.
So you wouldn't be earning first, second, third, or any of the PPI awards. It's just best out of state.
And then the print chair challenge, which I should have won last year, but I didn't.
So the theme this year is red.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what people do with that, because the person who serves on the print chair committee with me, one of them, Sherry Barron, she's going, oh, let's do something let's just open this up. Let's try something like red. And I'm going, well, that's perfect. So it's like
Talking about the color.
the color red.
Well, any way you interpret red,
Yes.
it's how you interpret it. So the judges are the ones that decide the winner. And some of the judges are so artistic, red might mean something different to them.
As opposed to READ.
R-E-A-D.
Red, like I
Like
read a
red.
book.
Read a
Yeah,
book.
red,
Yeah.
red like the color. Our ED is the challenge. There's one in IPC, International Photographic Competition, that we just completed. That was number 2 in the competition, and it was red.
Wow.
It was
I
amazing.
I
Oh,
missed that.
It was
So,
amazing.
wow. I missed it. I hate to say it, but I did.
Yeah. Well, I was at dinner with everybody, and we had our phones out watching the finals, because 2 of us or 3 of us at the dinner table were involved in the IPC. We made it to top 32, and then all 3 lost. So, but luckily we were able to make it that far.
Yeah.
And that's amazing fun.
Oh, yeah.
Judges' critiques, we can buy critiques, $10 per image.
Yep.
All that information is online on our website, ppofidaho.com, and on printcompetition.com.
I'm going to encourage you to also take advantage of those critiques.
Oh, yeah.
Really, I mean, unless you're playing at a pretty high level, if you're just starting out in this, get the critiques, because you're going to learn volumes from that.
And if you watch the critique, and then the next time you shoot, you go, oh, wait a minute, I remember the judge saying blah, blah, blah. Let me fix that a little bit. So,
Changes the little voice in your head while you're shooting, and it helps improve things.
one voice?
Multiple voices. Me, and I've got
I've
voices
got
in my
voices all over the place.
Yeah,
So
I always have voices in my head.
mostly
Scary.
my wife. You didn't hear that, Sheila. I was just kidding. So the submission deadlines.
Want to repeat that, Mike?
No,
Into the camera here?
she's going to play it back over and over and over.
She'll have that on loop.
When I walk in the door after this tonight, she's going to, we need to talk. But the good thing is I do listen to her voice that's in my head.
That's right. She should be really happy about the fact that.
Exactly.
I know, that's a good thing.
it. You should be very happy, darling.
See, you owe me coffee later. So entry March 5th at midnight. So they need to be Mountain Time, midnight Mountain Time, submitted on printcompetition.com, case paid for, everything ready to go in order to participate.
And don't wait till the last minute.
Please don't wait till the last minute.
They blew up the PPA computer a couple years ago. Everybody waiting till the last minute to do their entries.
Yeah.
And then they complain, well, I couldn't get it in. When'd you do it? 11:59, like everybody else. Photographers are procrastinators.
We are.
We are.
Yep.
So get it in right away. Look at your images today. Set up a folder. Keep your images there and participate. I mean, it's not just for competition. It's also for improving yourself.
Exactly. One of the things that also, when I was working on my master's degree, I think one of the fun things that I did, and my business partner, Kelly Zimmerman, was all part of this too. We weren't partnered at the time, but we would, coming up to competition, we'd be passing our competition images to each other and getting critiques, that's a whole lot of fun too, because you'll learn things, because everybody sees things a little differently. Not everybody has a, well, first of all, if it's a PPA juror, chances are you don't want to show them
No,
the
don't show them
image.
if you're going to be entering in MIR or IPC.
Right.
Don't show it to a PPA juror.
Right, because they have to recuse themselves if they know the maker of the image, or they recognize the image and know the maker. But to pass it out, everybody sees things a little differently, and you're going to see things from a little different direction. And I think that's really, really super important that helps you kind of refine your images, helps the way you see, and then it's also going to help you score better. It kind of raises the whole level of the competition if everyone's kind of, okay. And there's the excitement of, okay, take a look at, check this out. Oh yeah, fix this. Oh yeah, and that just kind of builds that excitement for game day.
Exactly, and like center spots, your people will see it you don't see things that are defects in your images that other people will. So
Right.
find somebody that's, not your neighbor, not your aunt or uncle.
Right.
Find a professional that's done this before.
Uh-huh.
And then go from there.
Go get their input. Yeah.
So categories. Well, before we get into categories,
Well, this is
let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah, there
You
is
know
a
it's,
big.
you know it's coming.
Yeah, it has a name, and it has 2 letters in its name, AI. Everybody's wondering about it at imaging. There was an incredible class. It was a tough to listen to class because it was a very academic class, but there was a couple of really great nuggets that came from that.
Yeah.
And so, and one of the terms, and I think I'm going to put this in the rules here, is the term generative AI, because AI lives on a lot of different planes. I mean, we open up Photoshop, there's AI tools in Photoshop. It says no AI, but does that count? Yes, it does. If you're using a Photoshop tool, kind of, because like
The remove tool.
Yeah, it's like a smart
Or
cloning stamp.
the healing brush technically is the smart tool.
Right. And those are fine because you're manipulating, you're making choices and letting the computer just kind of help you a little bit.
Right.
What we're talking about in generative AI is where you actually type in a prompt, knight with a sword fighting a dragon, spitting purple Kool-Aid at him or something like that. Okay.
Doing that.
Are you doing that? Well, make sure it's in an artist category because it won't count. So basically the allotment we've had is that if you do AI, that's fine, but it needs to be an element within an artist class image. In other words, it's one of the ones with the little thumbnails. It could be the background, it could be a generated something. That's the whole spirit of the artist degree, is you earn the artist degree at the computer, or you earn artist awards at the computer, how you assemble and interpret things.
Right.
Whereas AI goes against the general category, which is, okay, we're going to capture something. Okay, and so generative AI, I think, is the term we're going to use because that is more of the prompt and generating something. And so anyway, so to just clarify, guys, if you're using AI tools like a Photoshop or a plugin or something like that to generate something within your editing workflow, that's okay. It's what we don't want in the general category is stuff where you've typed in a prompt and inserted something in. That is reserved for the artist category, and it's an element within the larger frame of multiple elements.
And a lot of people think, well, I can get by with it. Nobody will notice. Well, I did a generative fill on a knight on a horse in front of the castle in front of Cuna. I took the picture of the castle, then during one of the classes I showed, this is how it works. Well, it gave it 6 legs and all kinds of other stuff. So the judges are going to be looking for that kind of stuff, and they have that eye.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And it hits you. I mean, it's more of an intuitive kind of thing, but quite honestly, I'm getting to the point now where I can kind of go, that looks a little AI, and you start kind of asking questions.
And then they say, can you send us the raw file on all these? And
yeah. And so just for clarity, AI is kind of a broad term. We're going to focus in on the generative AI. and
Where you
we have a
generate.
you're generating something that's not really there. The computer's generating something, and it's specific to the artist category.
Right. And if you have questions on that, feel free to email him.
Please.
That's Phil White.
Yeah.
And I'll give you his phone number and his address. And
Thanks, Mike. I really
or
appreciate that.
You can also contact me or any other people that have been involved in imaging.
Yeah.
They'll be happy to explain it to you. Let's talk about some of the categories. What we
Yeah.
got.
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
Okay, so what we've done is we've narrowed back to 2 divisions. We used to have 3 divisions. So we had what was called a newcomer, we had a intermediate, and then we had what was called a master's level or elite, I think is what we called it. We went back to general and masters, and so essentially we're back to 2 categories because we had a large newcomer category, we had a small intermediate category, and a large elite category. So we just kind of eliminated the middle one and basically called everything general. And if you're on the master's level, if you have a master's degree through PPA, you automatically go in the master's. Some of the rules we've had some people who are really strong non-master players, and so the board had decided that if you're competing at a master's level, even though you're not a master, guess what? You get to swim in the deep end of the pool. And
without a life vest.
Right, without a life vest. So there's certain criteria. So read the rules because the criteria is very, very specific on what that is. So if you've earned things like if you've earned Photographer of the Year more than, I think it's twice, or have merited 30 images in PPI, they're going, you're really,
You've
you're
played
there.
in the kiddie pool long enough.
You're well. And it's not the kiddie pool. I don't know. It's
I'm
the
being facetious,
it's
but
the 4 and 5 foot. It's where you can touch the bottom of the pool and you get to swim in the deep end. So
yeah, I can stand in the deep end and put my head up.
well, I know you can. Some of us can't. But that's one of the big changes. So we're back down to 2 categories, and yeah. Bob's
He's in the spa doing this.
So we're back to two categories and 2 divisions, and I think that's a really great way because then what it does is we've got a larger pool. It makes it more fun, I think.
You have a chance to compete with people of your own experience level,
Right.
versus some that. Like when I first showed up, I was automatically put in the master level, which I thought was unfair because I wanted Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't let me compete, so I had to
sorry.
go to the master level because I was already a master.
We did actually change the wording on the Rookie of the Year this year too, because we were for exactly that reason. Because we do have some members who, so first time in our professional competition. Let's see, how did we write that? Highest number of accumulated points for highest go for the first time in our professional. Okay.
So somebody who enters for the first time in a
Right.
professional competition
In a professional competition.
competes with other first timers for the
Right.
Rookie of the Year, and
Right.
it's only a one-shot deal.
Right. So if you competed first time in someone else's print competition, then that disqualifies you. I think.
And if they win Rookie of the Year,
Right.
they get a
They get $250 scholarship to a PPI or a PPA accredited school.
Okay.
So that could be PPA. That could be Texas school. That could be West Coast school. There's one in Florida.
I think there's 9 schools out there right
yeah.
now.
There's 9 schools. So they're all over the
7
country.
schools.
7 schools. 7 schools, and
I've
you
been
can
schooled.
yes, and you can pick any one of them.
Right.
And
Although I would highly recommend West Coast School or Texas School because I'm teaching there.
well, yeah. I've been to Texas school, and you've taught. Yeah, shameless plug, right?
Well, hell yeah. I mean, heck yeah.
I've been to one of those 2 schools, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a
total fun.
5-day intensive at Texas school. Is it 5 days at West Coast?
5 days at West Coast.
Oh yeah, you get a deep dive on these topics.
Texas is a lot bigger, more of a party atmosphere.
Yeah.
Where West Coast School's smaller and more of a campfire, summer camp photographer
Yeah,
deal.
probably more my speed because it was like being on a cruise ship at Texas schools.
And the scholarship must be used within a year that it was awarded.
Yeah. So definitely that's a That's when we have Photographer of the Year. So that would be both in the master and the general category. And that's the highest scoring print case of each division.
And when you say print case, you're talking about the top 4 images.
The top 4 scoring images.
Even if you enter 6, the top 4 added up
Right.
are what count.
So what we do is we throw out the 2 lowest scores out of your submission if it's 6, and focus on the top 4 scores of your submissions.
And if there's a tie, then you go back to the other 2, or do you do it based on
We start looking at points.
percentages?
Yeah, because there's been some times where we've been down to a 10th or a 20th of a point between photographers.
That one point, we were talking about this at lunch today, that one point.
At one point is important.
Sorry, Kelly. That one point makes a big difference.
It does. And quite honestly, this that one point that might make the 20th of a point that pushes your case slightly ahead.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it is the math that printcompetition.com uses. I mean, it's kind of mind-blowing when it kind of figures that out. And so anyway, we have each one of those, the John Sinclair Idaho Master Photographer of the Year. John Sinclair was my mentor way back in the day, so no longer with us, but an amazing guy. The Photographer of the Year is for the general category. And so those are really great distinctions because that's top dog for the state in both categories.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we talked about the best out of state. It's the same criteria, the best 4 scoring images. Any one submission will get best out of state award. Photographer's choice. Photographer's choice is a fun one because
I love that one.
it's wonderful because everybody looks at the images. There's no scoring, there's no judges. That doesn't even, if somebody just loves an image, they're just going to pick the image and go, I love this one. And when you have photographer's choice, that's kind of heartwarming actually when you earn that.
That's a big ego builder. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's not the judges that pick it.
Right.
It's the people that pick it.
People that pick it.
And in California, going back to the other state, we actually had the People's Choice Award was sponsored by Glenn Clark. So he sponsored those, and he had 3 of us looking at all the votes because they were written at the convention, and you're only allowed 1 vote. So we had to look at the handwriting on each of the votes.
Oh, wow.
And there was a couple of photographers that kind of sort of cheated a little bit.
Ooh, not good.
They would have won by a landslide had they
Had they?
had their whole family vote several times each. And you look at it and go, okay, this is this one, this is this one, this is this one, and there's stacks of the same signature and the same everything. So.
We have 100 people registered and we have 250 votes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah, but we do tally that one, and that's a really cool one. Judge's choice. Now, my business partner Kelly Zimmerman really loves this, and I have to say I love it too. Because again, judges are looking at this, and they're not really considering score. They're just talking about
their
favorite image.
Yeah.
And one of the best examples I have seen in our print competition was one juror that was really kind of harsh with an image. It was a first-time entrant, and I remember kind of taking her aside afterward, going, "Okay, it's okay, it's all right. Don't." He was a little too harsh. He was definitely too harsh. So this is not how this goes. And meanwhile, the other jurors kind of schooled him a little bit, sort of public, not in a bad way, but very quietly and very discreetly
took him aside and
took him aside and talked about it, and he felt bad about it, and so he gave his image that his judge's choice to her.
Oh, that's cool.
Because he wanted to encourage her, and I thought, oh my gosh, that could bring tears to my eyes.
Yeah,
that is
kidding.
really,
that's really cool.
Super cool. And usually they pick the one that speaks to them, but that was one thing that I thought was really. That was one example of something where a juror kind of had a little bit of a change of heart and went, okay, I need to encourage this person, and gave his judge's choice to this maker.
In all the years I've competed, I've had 2 judges' choices.
Yeah, I've had 3.
And two people's choices.
No, 4. I've got 4.
People choices are the photographer choices are the ones that I like the best.
Yeah, those are really cool.
They make you feel good.
I remember one year, I have to tell you this story. This isn't too far off topic, but one year we had the worst of the worst.
Oh,
One year we did the worst of the worst, and it was a fundraiser for PPA charities when it was around. So it was like you just make the worst possible image, and the
That was pretty funny.
it was funny. I was told go back to the studio, just do something, just crap, whatever. I went out and got a piece of, badly cut cardboard, packing cardboard, and like stuck a ribbon and drew some random stuff on it, and it just looked awful. And then I wrote this big long paragraph, which was the title, and it was this story about a dog and the beach and the whatever, and the dog felt sad, and at the end, number 24. And I remember Sandra Pierce just going, "Oh, that's beyond bad." But I also scored 100 in that same competition. And so out front, the first John Sinclair Master Photographer of the Year award for my 100 scoring print. And down in the basement in the packing room is the best of the worst. And so we ought to bring that back. That might be fun.
that might be fun. Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Before we run out of time, why don't we talk about some of the categories we've got coming up?
Okay, so we got a really broad set of categories. We want to give people opportunity to earn some awards.
Right.
And so we have the artist. Now the artist is what you build within what you're able to build as far as an image. So you take things, you can composite it together, you can paint, but you got to have a bunch of reference images.
Yeah.
Something that says, okay, this is what this image is made of, is all these other little images. And so that's the artist, and you're judged, not only is it a merit image, but also how well you...
The difficulty of the project and how well you put it together.
Right.
All rank in there.
Right.
That's work.
So that's the artist. Landscape, that's pretty self-explanatory. Landscape image. Wedding. Wedding is a small category. If you're a wedding photographer looking for an award, wedding is usually a nice one. Unclassified. This is a very broad category, and it's usually one of our most popular categories because people look at this and go, well, what is this? Okay, that doesn't fit any of the categories, so it goes into unclassified. It's usually a big, big category. High school senior, one of my favorite ones. Again, it's got to be a high school senior. Portrait man, portrait woman, portrait child. We used to just have portrait man, portrait woman, and now we've broken it into child, newborn groups, and kind of give some opportunities to get additional awards. And so usually portrait man, portrait woman is a very popular one. Portrait child, newborn, and group might be one that is a smaller group, because I mean groups are hard. Groups are very, very hard to do.
And portrait images are difficult to merit with.
Right.
Because you do it well, which is what is expected.
Right.
But to get a merit image or an image excellence, you got to bump it up a little bit.
Right. Well,
It's a lot of work.
And with portrait, there's some criteria. I mean, there is very specific criteria that they judge these by, within the 12 elements. Whereas in landscape, really great composition. Yeah, it's got lots of impact, good color, and so on and so forth.
Shouldn't have people in it.
Yeah, I shouldn't have people in it. Make sure the tourist sign's out of the picture and things like that. But with portraiture, there's some skill that goes into that.
Oh yeah, it's
so,
a difficult area.
And I do, if you're still, if you want to learn, enter the portrait category and get those critiques back, because you're going to learn volumes from that.
And it's going to turn your business around, because it's going to make you a better photographer.
Precisely.
Yeah, for sure.
So those are the categories. So if you have a commercial image, unclassified would be a logical place to put it.
We also have a unique category this year that's not on there,
right?
Which is
this is new.
Fun shoots.
Fun photo shoots. So here's the deal. You can enter 6, and these are all, here we go, 4 score.
Or 6.
or 6, and yeah, or that. Exactly. I was off screen there. Okay, where's my hands? Yeah, teleprompter. Yes, guys, there's a teleprompter right there. This is a 7th one. Now, this is not for score. This is not going to count towards your aggregate case total. It's more for fun, $5. And the idea is you guys have gone out on some of these photo walks. You've participated in some of the photo shoots, some of the quarterly convention type photo shoots where somebody set things up for you and you just walked in and shot. Okay, here's an opportunity for them to be, you can get judged, you can get a score, but it's not really going to count towards anything. But it gives you a chance to get your image out there. And so it's going to be that fun category. Have fun with that.
Something you've done on the photo shoots that we've done over the last year.
Right.
We've done 9 or 10 over the last year. And they've been, oh man, they're so much fun.
Yeah.
That's our fall retreat. Place.
Yeah, the fall retreat at the studio, all the photo walks.
The baseball game, the sunflower fields. We did all kinds of fun stuff.
We were out at the village.
Some of you were.
Lots of great stuff, yeah.
He was stuck in the snow and I was stuck in Tennessee.
I know.
So
We were
didn't get
thinking
to
about
play.
you though. So I was watching the snow fall out. So
But
I
that's
was
a new
thinking
one.
about you.
Basically, it's just for pride. You get to say, this is my shot.
Right.
And actually, I thought I came up with some pretty good shots during the photo shoots. That was, not only was it fun, but I got some good stuff, and I got to hang out with people. I mean,
Right.
that's, like I said, going to imaging. You get to
Right.
hang out with your friends.
Oh, absolutely.
So
So that is that's the new category, and that allows you to enter a 7th.
we could go on for another hour about print comp by
could.
itself. I mean, there's just so much to carry on about. You don't want to forget about our convention. Go online right now. Sign up right away.
Yes.
We're going to have a blast. It's got some great speakers. You'll see their information on the website.
Yep. We still have room for the old Hollywood Glamour and Vintage Pinup.
And the CPP class.
CPP class, so there's room in that, and I'm sure Bob's got room in his Art of Seeing class. So, I mean, there's a lot of really great things going on. Take advantage of it. Of course, that's why you're a member of PPI.
Exactly.
Is
Take advantage of it.
To learn, to grow, to get to know everybody, and build friendships that last a lifetime.
If you're a photographer in Idaho, why would you not join PPI?
I can't think of a
I mean,
single rate.
$9.99 a month or $99 for the year. It's not that expensive, number
It's
one,
not.
and you get so much out of it.
Well, I'm going to say something more, and this is a bold statement, and I believe this with all my heart. And I've said this once, I've said it again. I'm going to say it again. PPI is the secret to my success because I've done 2 runs as a photographer. The first time I didn't do so hot, but I wasn't part of any of these organizations. And the second time I entered in, I did the right thing. I joined PPI, PPA, and guess what? My business grew. I eventually partnered with another PPI member. Everybody's story is a little different, of course,
Right.
but had lots of opportunities that happened because I belong to this organization. I know the people within this organization, and doors opened for me in time that would not have opened.
The funny thing is, people say, well, my camera crashed just before the shoot, so I had to cancel my shoot. Well, if you're a member of PPI, you've got friends that you can call and say, hey, I need a Nikon. I don't care what body it is, or I need a Canon. And I know there's somebody out there that has one of those. Or anything, hey, I need another photographer for such and such.
Right.
Can you come help me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you pay me for.
Exactly. And,
$7,500 an hour, I'll be there in a heartbeat for you. I wish.
Well, what's more is, I have a friend in Twin Falls, Jim Fort. Just love him dearly, and his wife. And honestly, when I was just starting out, a lot of what I understand about business started from going over to a studio, sitting down with coffee, and just sitting in their shop talking about stuff. And that's the real beauty of this.
When I was with PPC and I got my master's degree, I had to pick who was going to sponsor me. And normally it's your mentor.
Right.
And I look and I go, which one?
Right.
It takes a village to raise an idiot.
Right, exactly.
And there it is. I picked.
I don't think that's on that same.
Well, that's what everybody tells me about it. Takes a village to raise you idiot. But it's definitely, when I moved here from California, the first thing I did was join PPI
Right.
because I want to be with like people. I want to
And
talk photography.
Yeah.
So there's many of us.
Right.
Bob's one. Robert Mance's one. Larry Skibisky joined immediately. He joined before he moved here.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So-
remember when you joined. Yeah. And so
Crazy.
what an incredible organization.
Why would you not join PPI?
Why not?
Go to ppofidaho.com and sign up today.
Yes.
Now.
Yes, we want you.
Cool.
All right. Well, this has been fun.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I love all the information we put out for everybody. Hopefully, we get a whole bunch of entries into PrintComp.
Yes.
We get a whole bunch of people signing up for convention. We'll be talking about convention a lot more. We're putting out a lot of emails, a lot of information on Facebook. So we're trying to get the information out to you. It may seem like we're spamming you because we put it out, but we try to advertise everything we have for you so you know. You can't say, well, I didn't know. You didn't tell me. It's
Hey,
out there now. Trust
we're
me.
photographers. I'm the biggest squirrel of them all, and it's like I miss emails, so I appreciate the communication. I really do.
It's important, and it helps me remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I put it out there and go, what was that? I have to go back through my emails and figure, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So cool. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today.
Yeah,
Or
thank
if you're
you.
watching this recorded, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to our channel on PPI on YouTube. And we will see you probably, well, there's so many things going on. I will see you at one of the events coming up. And we'll talk to you again on YouTube Live or Friday Live or First Friday Live or
In
whatever
person.
it's going to be.
Maybe in person.
I'm hoping in person.
I
yeah.
hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, that way I can shake a hand, give a hug, whatever it takes.
Exactly.
Be good.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.